All right, thank you very much, Matt. Now, this morning we are joined with Ben Alke this morning. Mr. Alke, how are you doing?
Doing well. Thanks
Good.
for having me.
Absolutely. Now, Mr. Alke, you are running to be Montana's Attorney General. Now, tell me a little bit about yourself and why you decided to throw your hat in the ring.
Well, I'm a native Montanan, fourth generation. Grew up in Helena. My folks grew up in Helena, and I've been a practicing lawyer here in Montana for about 20 years now. I've got 4 kids, and have to say I think that there's room for improvement. I don't think the government is functioning as well as it should, and I have concerns that things are going to get worse and not get better, and that's what motivated me to run.
And you've been critical of the current administration with Austin Knudsen, who's the current Montana Attorney General. Why is that, and what would you do differently if you were elected into this position?
Well, I'm critical because the job he's done has been terrible. And I know this is strong language, but he's been the worst Attorney General in the history of our state. The Attorney General has essentially 3 jobs. You run the Highway Patrol, you're the Chief Law Enforcement Officer of the state, and you represent the state in litigation. It's a public safety job, and he's not doing it well. He's not doing it well at all.
And what would you do differently than if you were in that position?
Well, the first thing you have to do is you have to represent the state of Montana with integrity and with credibility in the court system. He's had ethical issues that he's being charged with. He has interfered with the operations of the Montana Highway Patrol, and you need to make sure that the colonel gets to run the Highway Patrol and you're not interfering with the operations of the Highway Patrol. And you need to do something to take care of the drug crisis that we have. There are actions that could be done inside the state of Montana right now that would help counter the cartel's operations, and right now he's not doing as much as he could.
Now, there's many issues that we could discuss from a national standpoint to a kind of a state-centric standpoint, including, like you said, drugs, human trafficking. What are top priorities if you are elected into this position? What would your focus be on?
Yeah, well, I mean, I hate to say it, but the top priority right now is to rebuild the Montana Department of Justice, because you've had so many talented people leave that office that it is now millions of dollars over budget, because you have to pay outside law firms to defend the state of Montana because you don't have the attorneys in the DOJ who used to be there. And so you want to bring that back so that you don't have to waste taxpayer money in litigation. The next thing you need to do is you need to focus on the laws that exist that protect Montanans, like consumer protection laws or laws to protect people like senior citizens that could be enforced in a better way. You know, people in Montana, lawyers are expensive. Mm-hmm. The Attorney General has a role to play to defend the people of the state and to protect their rights when they're being abused by like corporate interests, for example.
Anything else that you'd like to mention about the city or race or campaign? Anything before we wrap up?
Just that, there are certain jobs that don't need to be political. If you're doing the job of Attorney General the right way, it doesn't matter whether you're a Republican or a Democrat. Your job is to uphold the rights guaranteed by the Montana Constitution, to make decisions based on the facts and the law. And political considerations are never a criteria that you're going to be focusing on. You just need to make sure that you're making decisions consistent with the law to protect the people of Montana.
All right. Mr. Alke, thank you very much for joining us on Montana This Morning.
Thank you, Jane.
Thank you. All right, we're going to take a short break here on Montana This Morning, but before we do, remember, you can send in your questions to us so we can ask the candidates. Election 2024 at kbzk.com. If you'd like to, you can throw Election 2024 in the subject line just to make sure we see it. If you have a question, we're trying to get people from local races, state races, national races right here on the show. So please, send us your questions so we can get you some answers. Time for that break. When we come back, Matt's got to look at your forecast.